Welcome back. Here's another video on factoring. It's for my Algebra 1-2 class. Anybody in Algebra 3-4, you're welcome to just review some of this stuff because it might help you. Anyone in FST that needs to review it, it'd be fantastic. Hope everyone's ready for their finals. If you aren't taking finals, you're watching this video in a month, none of this will make sense, but the concepts will. All right, so here's my example problem. And I'm going to take away this equal sign. So I just have this expression here as opposed to an equation. Expression because there's no equal sign. So 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. I need to write this in factored form. That's my goal. In order to factor that, I set up the same process that some people needed to review. So set up the diamond, right? Now in the top of the diamond, a lot of people were just putting -3 there, and that's wrong because my leading coefficient, or my a value, is greater than 1. It's not 1. Normally you were seeing just x squared, now there's a 2 out front. A, B, and C, right? ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, a is 2, b is -5, c is -3. So a times c actually goes up top. And I know we've gone over this, but just to rehash, 2 times -3, that's -6. All right? And then on the bottom piece, the bottom is b, which is -5. Once you get the numbers, a lot of us have practiced this before. So we're looking for two numbers, here and here, that are going to multiply together to give me this number, and add together to give me this -5. So, in order to think of the numbers, sometimes it's helpful to make a little chart. You don't have to. I usually start with 1. 1 times what equals 6. And I haven't worried about the negative sign right now. So I'm going to come back, 2 times 3, and then I mess with the negatives afterwards. I already know what this is going to be. It's going to be -6 and +1, because -6 times 1 is -6. -6 plus 1 is -5, so we're good there. Once you come up with the numbers, you need to make your factor box. Follow me? Okay. So, we've got the first square here. We put the first term. Don't just throw in x squared because you're used to it. You've got to put the first term. 2x squared. And then the last term, c, goes here. Not this -6 from here. So it's not the a times c. It's just the last term. It's -3. And then you put your other things that you came up with in here. -6x, 1x. You don't really usually write 1x. You could just write x. But I'm going to leave the 1 there just for fun. If you aren't in one of my classes and you are learning Algebra 1-2 or first year algebra in another way, the things that would be different would be in here. Instead of it being a -6, it'd be a -6x squared. And instead of it being a -5, it'd be a -5x. And there'd be x's here and here. It doesn't really change anything when you get to this point. Anyone in my class knows to get to put the x's here when you start the factor box. So, once we're at this point, everyone is used to putting an x here and an x here to come up with their factors. But that's not really going to work because x times x doesn't equal 2x squared. So we need to have a 2 somewhere. And you got to be careful about where you put the 2. If you put the 2 here, it's helpful. But watch what happens if you don't put the 2 there. If you put 2 here, it's going to affect this box because we need to have this number times this equal this. Similarly, we need to have this times this equal this. So you have to be careful about where you're putting your 2, or if it was a 3x squared, so on and so forth. If I put the 2 there, it's not going to work. So I do need the 2x to go here, because 2x times x is 2x squared, and now we can do 2x times something to equal -6x. That turns out to be 2x times -3 equals -6x. X times what equals 1x, or just x? It's 1. X times 1 is x. And you also want to make sure that to double check that -3 times 1 is -3. If you get these two numbers, or you think you have them, make sure that they multiply together to give you this last box here. Because otherwise you're doing it wrong. Something's messed up. So there's a couple things you want to double check when you're doing this type of problem. From here, you can write your factors. So our factors are going to be what's on the side of the box and what's on the bottom of the box. 2x plus 1, that came from here. And then we're going to have times x minus 3. So it's 2x minus 1, or 2x plus 1 times x minus 3. That equals that up there. Those two things are equivalent. This is very helpful to have it in factored form because you can find x-intercepts by using the zero product property, which we learned in class. That's where you set each factor equal to 0. So if you have questions about that, or if you think you caught a mistake, then email me. Good luck with finals, and I think that's it. Have a good weekend. See ya.